Oh wow, we're already live, and we have, well, perhaps the first episode that I would be using this V8 card. Yep, finally we have one. Episode 8, Season 2 of Untold Legends. Here with me, my name is Jing Dalagan. I am here with our host, our co host, Joe Dini of the podcast Legends of the Internet. Good evening, Joe. How are you?
Hey, well, it's been a tiring morning, so to speak. I don't know why, because I woke up and it was just, it just felt weird compared to all the other days. But I'm okay.
Yeah, and that looks good. At least the mood may be gloomy, but we're at least it's a little appropriate to the topic that we're having at the moment because um, some of our viewers may be familiar with the topic that we have at the moment, and it's about Glitter Forever 17, someone that may not have been within your circle, but someone that I've been, yeah, because, oh wait, because on my end, my watch history on YouTube is either based on what YouTube recommended to me or based on what I find interesting at the time or trending topics. You kind of get the idea there. And now that we have that topic, oh, is the music too loud? It's okay.
Yeah, it's
There you
fine.
go. Yeah, it's sometimes a little overpowering. Okay, hopefully we get to do justice to this episode because it's he's one of those or she rather she's one of those old school YouTubers. Some say that she's been one of those old school YouTubers here, somewhat contemporary. Shane Dawson, well, as I've mentioned here in the introduction, here in the description box, because for me to ask you, have you ever followed a YouTuber only to wake up one day that that YouTuber is now plugging her account on OnlyFans?
Well, I never subscribed to anybody that had an OnlyFans account, actually.
Okay. Yeah, because here it happened, and it's not that I followed her that much as a kid, because although I've been watching YouTube since 2006, yeah, I've been watching YouTube for 2006. It just took a while for me to revive my YouTube career, so to speak, because the pandemic happened. Here, GlitterForever17 is one of those YouTubers that earned 3.13 million subscribers as of this writing on YouTube initially for being a kid-friendly YouTuber. Now, you see the problem when someone who's initially presented on YouTube as kid-friendly would end up having this OnlyFans account, right?
It's like an after dark account. It's like, oh, here's what happens when I'm not doing YouTube, and if or the parents want to see something, feels like that
Yeah.
in a sense.
Oh wow. Now we are getting a flurry of audience here. Thank you very much to everyone from Saktong Guapo, aka Lawrence. Thank you very much for coming over. I would really hope that all of you would stay uh, to talk about this. Some of them find it a little intimidating that I'm speaking in English, but I would I would really love some of them to stay because it would really be interesting to discuss how to start on YouTube and build a base based on the image that you have projected here on YouTube. Because you can be kid friendly or you can be they call it SPG or strong parental guidance, or you can be not sure if NC-17 is. I've seen some clips here on YouTube that are NC-17. So hello, just to greet them one by one. Our guests here: Alexis TV, Jeff Sakamoto, Digna Gehon, Irma Pitogo, Sara Kawali, Melvin, John Namo, Melvin Jazz, Bonbon Gutierrez. Not sure if that's related to Lawrence. Willem Valbuena, Jabriel TV, Shobin Bistak, Arabani. Hello, Arabani. Yeah. Sisi, hello. She just earned her milestone on YouTube by earning 1,000 subscribers. One of the goals that are that everyone's looking forward here. So, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng nag-thumbs up, pakisabi kay Saktong Gwapo. I really appreciate that everyone came over. Thank you po. Okay, so as I was speaking, I see Inday Shi humabol pa. Thank you very much, Ate Inday Shi. So, as I was saying here, I'll be sending a message later on to Lawrence about the topic that we have now, because right now you have this YouTuber who initially rose to fame. Let's call it fame here on YouTube for having DIY videos like make your own or life hacks, so to speak. Make your own edible lip balm or make your own edible version of a useful item. Yeah, but on my end, I discovered her in her infamous years online. This means on YouTube and the other streaming site, which is YouNow. Does YouNow still exist as a website?
I don't even know that it was a website.
Oh, you're not familiar with YouNow?
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, because some people were saying that YouNow is like Twitch but without the games. So instead of are they called gems? You know, the ones that you use to super chat on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on Twitch they're called gems. On YouNow they're called bars. So they're like, hey, got dropping bars so that I can monetize them later on. It's one of those infamous lines that GlitterForever17 was known for when she was using YouNow.
The thing is about you
And
now, when I looked in Google, I see a tab that says girls. And it says watch live girl streams and chat. Now, at first in my mind came that's like, oh wait, is there like a separate section where you can just watch girls stream? Is this like one of those like cam girl sites?
some say it was. It was one of those attractions. But I only discovered YouNow because a lot of T channels, whenever they wanted to simply live stream and earn more money, because YouNow was once an alternative for people who feel that they are not earning enough on YouTube. They try to YouNow, and GlitterForever17 is one of those earlier earlier shifters. One of those who tried YouNow because they're not earning enough on YouTube. So it also pushed her to the edge, because the main thing that we would be analyzing in this episode then is what pushed this initially kid-friendly YouTube content creator to dive into the deep end and lose herself in the process and go, well, almost go irrelevant online. So, yeah, almost, because maybe some redemption is found along the way. And while researching for GlitterForever17, I found this website, Wikitubia. It's like a Wikipedia page for YouTubers or online personalities that initially found fame on YouTube. And this is why I found out that GlitterForever17's real name is Breland Emery. She's based in Louisiana, so that explains the southern accent. I'm not sure how thick is the southern accent in Louisiana compared to the other areas because you remember when I did the southern accent, I ended up sounding Texan, right?
Yeah, and there's many different forms of southern accents. Like Georgia's different from Texas, which is different from Tennessee, which is different from Kentucky. They're all different.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I was transcribing one of her videos, she likes saying y'all. Like,
Which is common in Florida too.
oh, yeah, I don't always use that in my writing because sometimes I get busted for, hey, why are you using this expression? I'm like, I just earned it online. Like, I've been reading way too much and I've been watching way too many YouTube videos sometimes. So yeah, so that's also what I notice about her. I may not always notice the southern accent that she had, but I notice how she likes using the expression y'all. So, and then in this episode, we would be interchangeably using Breland and GlitterForever17 because sometimes well, most of the time she would introduce herself anyway as Breland. So here, she got her username from a 17-year-old who died. It does not say on Wikipedia on when did that 17-year-old teen die. And because of her username, during her heydays, Breland was so popular that she ended up gracing the April 2014 issue cover of 17 magazine. It's easy to see why. And her username might have the number 17, but her target market is mostly kids, sometimes prepubescent kids, because a little later in her YouTube career, most of the life hacks that she's posting on YouTube are period hacks, like how to handle your YouTube, how to handle your period, like which which pads to use or what hacks can be done using your pads. Like sometimes they're gross, although on my end, since I have gross periods, I have days when my period is so gross that I think I consumed way too many pads. That, yeah, sometimes, as much as you are grossed out and talking about the period, someone needs to handle that. It's a niche that Glitter Forever 17 has cornered. And of course, kids like her because um, I would try to do a Glitter Forever 17 impression here because during the time when she was being pretty friendly, she was like, "Hello there, glitter critters!" That's how she usually greeted her with that high pitched voice because she has this childlike charm about her, to be honest. So here,
That help. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, it's okay.
I was gonna say it's like more of a charm than anything else. It's like that draws people in. It's like the charm of like who that personality is.
Yeah, you get a little idea about how kid friendly she is, how wholesome her personality is initially, at least. So, of course, it's much later when she did not immediately go dark in her content, or it's not immediately dark matter. People realized how uncomfortable or inappropriate the content turned out to be once she had some videos that had disturbing content. And the height of, I think the earliest part here that she was dissed for having inappropriate content was in a collab with Shane Dawson. Um, so it's like on the same day, June 25, 2016, the Shane Dawson uploaded a collab with Glitter Forever 17, and on the same day, GlitterForever17 also uploaded a collab video with Shane Dawson. So the video entitled Trying Dumb Life Hacks, the one uploaded on the date that I mentioned, this was the video that turned out to be controversial for the way the video ended. Although watching through the video, it's like a lot of people were complaining that why are you making a video about dumb life hacks only to end up with a bad joke? And that video ended with suicide jokes because at the end of the video, GlitterForever17 said there are only two ways to end this, and then she pulled out a gun and a rope that looked like a noose.
Oh no.
Like and of in on Shane's channel, I can't see any negative comments anymore because
Of course, he probably deleted them.
he probably deleted them. Well, it's been a year. He's been trying to clean his channel. Like, how much clean does he have to do? Like, maybe not enough, but yeah, I already checked the comments. No negative comments were there. So, as of this writing, this video has 112,000 likes and more than 11,000 dislikes, with comments mostly. This one, there's this article online I found that still captured the negative comments on that video, and the comments were mostly about the distasteful way suicide was handled at the end. You don't make jokes about suicide that are being watched by 9 year olds. So at the moment, so here on my end, when it's my turn to check out the video, the top comments showing up are those that simply pass off at the end part as jokes. Jokes. So, by the way, Shane Dawson is known for the inappropriate humor, and that will be discussed more on Legends of the Internet, which is Jodi's own podcast. What episode would he be?
Well, that's won't be for a while. We still got to do vaporwave and the intellectual dark web. I think we
Okay,
have to.
that'll be fine.
It'll be like in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah, yeah. I can help with the notes on that. I can uh, s- been using some transcription apps to make the transcription easier. So here, to spoil the outro in this video, the outro it is captioned at the top of the clip with "Go to Breland's channel, see me get killed and turn into EOS." That's the actual quote. And then, so this means that the Shane upload was before the Glitter Forever 17 upload. Here, on this end, it shows that um, Shane Dawson is supposed to be visiting Glitter Forever 17. It's not sure if this was during the time when he was still presenting himself as straight, but both videos were collab, and at that time, one of the collaborators that Shane had was Garrett Watts. So Garrett Watts was one of the editors, or shall we say crew, part of the crew of and this the Glitter Forever 17 video. This was entitled DIY Shane Dawson EOS Lip Balm, How to Turn Shane Dawson to an EOS. So this is also the part that really earned a lot of negativity because as much as DIY became the niche of Glitter Forever 17, this is where they performed this skit where Shane Dawson would arrive at the doorstep, would be initially greeted by Breland, and then Breland would hit him on the head and uh, try to make a lip balm out of out of his nipple.
Um. What?
That I watched the video. That's what she said.
Okay.
And some other parts from a supposedly dead Shane Dawson was used to make a DIY lip balm. Like, so here on this video, the comments were worse because GlitterForever17 is not that good in removing the comments. She has had a history for removing comments, but that's using a different social media uh, website. So here on this video and that I found, viewers were complaining how Brilliant's content is supposed to be kid friendly, and she basically turned a crime scene into a tutorial video on how to make lip balm out of a supposedly dead man's body parts. Supposedly. Because it turned out that Shane was only unconscious. Still, some parts got used in the Brilliant's recipe with some extras passed off as a lip gloss. And, this is one of those videos that showed Breland's interest towards the psychotic kind of content.
It almost sounds
Mm,
like a. It almost sounds like a Get Out, but the YouTube edition.
yeah. So here, on the comment section, Breland responded, and I quote, I didn't think I would have to tell everyone that this is a joke. This is not real. It was just for fun. Yes, it's crazy and insane. That's the point. Obviously, many people do not get it, and that is sad. We worked so hard on both of our videos, and we all wanted was a little praise for our hard work. We wanted people to laugh and have a good time. This video, or Shane's, was not meant to offend anyone. Lighten up, please. Thank you to everyone who supports this video and Shane's. We appreciate everyone who actually understood this is a joke. This is called dark comedy. I apologize if you're offended. If so, please do not watch. Simple as that. Thanks again, and please go show Shane and Garrett Watts some love. They are both adorable, and we all worked hard on both videos. A little pat on the back is all we ask from you. Love you so much, Breland. XO. Unquote.
Oh my god, it's like lighten up. Love you. Like,
Mm,
what kind of manipulative language is that?
it yeah, it does sound manipulative to me. Truth be told, like, can you lighten up, please? This is a joke. This is a skit. Don't you know what the skit is all about?
It's
Please.
it's one of those deals where they don't want to take accountability for something that they did, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's all about trying to get the fame as much as possible. I mean, fame has a lot to do with it. So and if
Yeah.
there's like any accountability to it, it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose everything that's a part of this. I'm gonna lose the money. I'm
Mm.
gonna lose the fame. I'm gonna lose the views, the subscribers. I can't have anybody thinking my content is bad because I'm not gonna go to. I'm not gonna be in YouTube purgatory. I refuse to go there. I
Hey, yeah.
refuse.
Yeah. It did happen. Which is why it's quite hard to see things evolve like this, and there was a lot of craziness that happened afterwards because Breland is getting all of this hate, is getting all of this feedback. Even the T channels, even the drama channels, are talking about her simply because people have been complaining. It's like she trended for the wrong reasons. Like, it's sad to see a kid-friendly YouTuber devolve this way. And then what happened is she got on YouNow. YouNow is the alternative for YouTube I mentioned a while ago, where yeah, she tried live streaming there because around that time she was testing on the live streaming platform because She was told that she would be earning more on YouNow if she was live streaming, and eventually the content got darker, and this is live streamed. So this means that she would be in front of the camera. She would be live streaming. She'd be flipping the bird with both hands and then telling everyone to sit on it.
Oh, that's that's some imagery right there that's gonna give people a double turn.
Yeah, it did. And she's drinking vodka.
Oh, great.
She's doing, yeah, she's doing these drunk live streams. She's live streaming while in the bathtub. So,
Oh, so she's naked.
yay! Yay! Kid friendly content! Either she's drinking, or she's flipping the bird and telling people to sit on it, or she's on the bathtub, live streaming while dipping in the bathtub, or all of the above. Those are
I
the
wonder.
things that she's been doing. Yes, go ahead.
I'm thinking as you're saying all this, is there a side of her that you've always wanted to reveal? Like, do you think like doing all this kid content was just wearing on her, and she wasn't getting enough like she wasn't getting her psychological needs met, so she's turning into, or she's not really turning, but she's often using sex as a way to get the attention that she wants in another form, not just for money or fame, but it's like I need my sexual needs met.
Yeah, that's actually one of the questions that have been going on because um, prior to these breakdowns, prior to her going to all of these nervous, some I don't want to call it nervous breakdowns if they're not actually nervous breakdowns. Prior to all of this, Brila had a boyfriend that proposed to her, and they're supposed to get married. And months before the wedding was called off because Breland was caught cheating on her fiance. And 2 months after the breakup, Breland married the man that she cheated on with her ex fiance. So it's like, um, so you've been in a relationship with this other guy for 10 years, and then you find this other guy, and after 2 months of getting discovered with this guy, you marry that guy. It's like something was off.
Yeah, I would say so too, because you said that relationship was 10 years. I
Yeah.
don't I don't know. I mean, I only know one person in my life that was in a relationship for 8 years and broke it off. We all thought they were going to be together. Like they were going to get married and everything, but then the breakup happened, and then all of a sudden she went and dated this other guy and then married him like 6 months later, and we're doing a head turn like, "Wait, what?" I don't
Yeah,
know
what
what
happened?
I honestly don't know what drives people to make changes like that. And I don't. I would like to find out why, but it would be it would be definitely something where if I saw it, if I saw it psychologically what was going on in their head, or if I talked to them, probably get an understanding. But you can't help but feel like something's happening that we don't know about behind the scenes.
Yeah. And also, I've been watching this a video by Primink. He got to analyze the things that happened with GlitterForever17, and he also had he also considers the new guy as a shady because prior to having this relationship with Breland, he has this YouTube channel where um, he presents himself as openly gay. And then when he got into a relationship with Breland, he deleted the videos that showed him his flamboyant side. Although,
Wait,
as I've mentioned before, nothing stays deleted on YouTube forever, which is why this other channel found those deleted videos. Yes, you were saying something.
so wait, you're saying like this guy that she married was did came out as gay, and then once they decided to get married, he decided to get rid of those videos.
That
So
is the
what?
speculation.
Well, what's the truth here? Is he really gay, or was he just pretending to be gay to get attention?
I'm
You
not
know?
even sure if he got the views for presenting himself as gay.
Huh. So I wonder if this is a situation where he was gay, but he wasn't getting enough attention, so he decided to marry her because she was the only one that was giving him attention. But even then, I don't believe that. So something's wrong here. I don't know what. I don't even know where to go from there. I don't want to go and speculate.
Yeah, it's hard to speculate on that because it reminds me of that part where Shane had this relationship with Ryland and suddenly he cut off ties with some of his friends like Garrett and Andrew. And then here with Breland, um, she had videos with the previous boyfriend, and they look happy and they really look more wholesome there. And then Breland had some of these videos with the new guy, with the next guy, and some of them are dark. One of them even featured Breland. She was announcing, or not sure if she was announcing, just trying to prank his fiance at that time, saying that, "Hey, I'm pregnant." And the guy was like, "What? You're pregnant? Get rid of it." Wait, I was like, wait a minute. Aren't you supposed to be happy you're about to have a kid? That was the biggest red flag. That even the drama channels were like, are you sure that this is the guy you wanted to spend your life with? Some of them, and I have to agree with them, we don't know if it's a skit or if it's a prank or a Freudian slip on the part of the guy. It's like, why would you not like to have a kid? Like, and there was even this other clip that was uploaded on Breland's channel, on the GlitterForever17 channel, where the guy pretended to be autistic or somewhat mentally challenged.
Oh, fuck this.
Like, oh, like, no, we don't like the fans are like, no, we don't like the influence this guy is giving her. It's like, and she was this with this other guy. She was wholesome. She was all glittery and rainbows and unicorns. And then this other guy's like,
Yeah,
and I can't blame them.
okay, so it sounds like this guy is just making fun of like people in other minority groups.
Mm.
He's
He's
like
not
this
even
like
American.
oh, the type of the American way sort of spreads around the world. Like even people in other
Mm.
countries like are been talking about, man, I love America. I wish I can go there, and so I'm gonna take these values and keep them over here.
It is. It's like, so. Those were the some of the instances there. It's like, now people have started really speculating on the mental health status of Breland of Glitter Forever 17 the moment she had this video where she cut her hair. She almost shaved it. It's like, did she just snap like Britney? Like, well, Britney shaved her head. Oh, with Breland, she just cut off her hair, and which is why a lot of those photos of Glitter Forever 17 of her haircut unevenly went viral online as well. It's like everyone's like, no, she does not need YouTube. She needs a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was speculating that, yeah, because there are a lot of people on YouTube that whether it's real or not, they needed a psychiatrist for that, especially when they have no idea anymore how to handle the fame that they have earned. It's the infamous YouTube fame, as discussed once in the Down the Rabbit Hole channel. Um, the one discussed before by Frederick Knudsen in the what I forgot the name of the channel that he discussed before, but game plan. No, that's not a different one, because people get famous on YouTube and then it goes to their head and they don't know how to handle it. Then next thing they realize, they're desperate for views because the views are declining.
And especially since they're putting in all these new rules, especially since the algorithm. Most people don't know this, but the algorithm is more catered to white guys, and specifically young white guys. That's where people seem to gravitate more towards. And the algorithm has made it so it gets people to those videos and those channels. Even more specifically, the algorithms cater to more corporate channels, like news channels or anything that comes from a major network. That's where it really goes down to. And it's really tough for a woman to stay, particularly in like the top 10 of like most popular YouTubers in any given week, unless of course you're doing like a music video or your song just dropped and you got millions of fans. It's really tough to try to get into that strain of things, and you lose views that way because there's all this attention going somewhere else.
Yeah, and you end up thinking that how can we enjoy life on, on YouTube then? I end up thinking, yeah, it's like there's content I want to upload, then there's content that the algorithm supports. So it's one of those conflicts that um, Breland ended up having too, which is why after all of these clips or after all of these streams on YouNow, after all of the deleted tweets, there was this drama channel that mentioned how many times Breland deleted her tweets. It's like she's been deleting stuff, or she started deleting stuff because she cannot handle the backlash that occurred after all of those streams, and then she got banned on YouNow because of the bathtub videos, and she's been getting complaints. So she went dark on social media for a couple of months before uploading on YouTube again. Um, a video that I tried to watch and tried to make sense, but I can't. It's simply entitled "What Happened to GlitterForever17." She's obviously still in a dark phase, obviously still working out an explanation to what happened, and she ended up not explaining anything at all, which is sad. So after that video, she then tried several videos on her own page that eventually people caught on by the time she uploaded a video entitled "Foreclosure House Tour."
Oh,
Like, she is not earning that much on YouTube, to the point that her dream house got foreclosed. There was somewhat a conflicting explanation that she provided then, and which is why I had to transcribe it, because while while Primate or other YouTube documentary makers here have tried to summarize that video, once we tried to get into the gist of what she actually said, on why I went on why that's the title, on why she went crazy on YouNow. Well, we get the nitty gritty of what happened, at least based on how she presented it. So There are people on YouTube that try to go with an apology video, whether or not people believe them. So let's just analyze the words without getting into the video itself. So I transcribed parts from her other video addressing the YouNow live stream drama, Why I Went Crazy on YouNow. This was uploaded by GlitterForever17 on YouTube last August 19, 2019. So this is where she explains about the house because she's been encouraging other people to watch that foreclosed house tour. So, to quote, my house wasn't actually foreclosed. The house was originally purchased through owner financing. If you don't know what that means, it means that there was an owner who paid for the house in full and therefore they wanted to sell it. So they decided to let me basically rent to own the house. And because I could no longer pay the note, they didn't want the house to go to sheriff's sale. So they offered to take the house back. So the previous owners took the house back, and unfortunately, I didn't get any money for the house. End quote. Mm. One of those rent to own schemes that she explained. So here, this video was obviously a way to correct the disastrous video that occurred on what happened to Glitter Forever 17. So to continue with the transcript that we have here, and I quote, you may remember these live streams of me dancing around like a crazy person, drinking vodka, saying all kinds of profanities. And that I look back, I cringe so hard. I want to put my head into a hole and explode my head, which I'm pretty sure other people would like to do the same if you've seen these YouNow broadcasts. There are so many rumors, there are so many speculations, which I totally understand. I would speculate too if someone was to do that. Did Breland go crazy? Did she lose her mind? Was it the stress of the move? Was it the fact that she has mental problems and she's on medication? I'm going I'm gonna go to the beginning. This was before I had decided to sell my house. YouTube was failing for me. People were being unsubscribed, and I knew with YouTube failing, everything else was gonna fall too. YouTube is and was my main source of income. So I knew if YouTube failed and if I couldn't make any money anywhere, that scares me. And that scared me back then, and that would scare anyone. I have had my family depend on me for the past 8 years. My family is something that is so important to me. That's all my responsibility. And having that like on top of you and knowing that you're the one that has to keep food in their mouth, you're the one that has to keep the bills paid. You have to keep a roof above over the head. It's a lot of pressure, especially once you realize your money is starting to like trickle off and cope.
It definitely tells she didn't talk to anybody on the financial side that could have helped her in the beginning.
Yeah, it's like she expected the money train to go on, not realizing that trends die. So to continue with the explanation here, and I quote, so since my views were only like 10% of what they used to be, I was starting to freak out a little bit. I'm pretty sure anyone would. It kind of happened overnight. The more I would upload, the worse the views would get to where normally like before they changed everything, my videos would at least get like 100,000 views. I had uploaded a video and I only got like maybe 15,000 views on the video and I just flipped out. I was like, no way, this can't be happening. Why is this happening to me? I've worked so hard in YouTube. Why is my YouTube failing like this? So as I continued to upload, as I continued to see my views fail, it really weighed on me and it really made me so stressed. I had the idea of possibly live streaming for extra money. If you live stream enough, you can make a pretty decent sum of money. I decided, well, if YouTube isn't gonna pay up, you now will. I noticed that whenever I would just get on YouNow in the beginning, I would just talk for like an hour and answer questions. It really wasn't pulling in the viewers, and that was a big problem for me because I needed the views. I needed the bars per se. So whenever someone gives you so many bars, you get a certain amount of money. So it turns into cash. And I wasn't really making that much. I think only made like maybe 10 or 20 bucks from my live streams, and I was thinking, like this has taken so much of my time and it's just not paying up enough. See, I'm this type of person that if something doesn't work out for me, I will do whatever it takes to make it work out. That can be a big issue sometimes. It could be a problem. End quote. And yeah, it was really a struggle that she did learn how to live stream, but 20 bucks per live stream. She didn't say if it's per month or per live stream. And this is how she tried to set up the explanation towards the epiphany on what she needed to do to finally get things going here on her YouNow account. And I quote, see, I'm this type of person that if something doesn't work out for me, I will do whatever it takes to make it work out. That can be a big issue sometimes, it could be a problem. So I was struggling so bad, and I was like, you know what? That's it. I am letting loose. I'm gonna pull a Trisha Paytas if I have to. I'm sure you all know what a Trisha Paytas is. Okay, this is basically just like a crazy troll to really bring in attention so that I could make the money. End quote. I think
Well,
that was the part that got me.
ugh, well then.
This is why Trisha Paytas is one of those most requested topics that we had on previous seasons of Legends of the Internet because sometimes people are just wondering, is she trolling or she just needed the attention or this is her way of handling her mental issues. I mean, she can snap at anyone and get away with it. I can't help but notice that about Trisha Paytas. And I hate to think that some people end up emulating Trisha Paytas just because they're running out of options on what content to upload on YouTube. It's sad on my end. It's sad for everyone that started a little late here on YouTube. So, to continue, and I quote, what really set me off and made me decide to do this was I looked at my revenue on YouTube and it was nowhere near enough to make my mortgage payment. So at that desperate point, I decided that I was gonna devise a plan to get that money that I needed to pay my bills and to pay my mortgage. I was gonna do whatever it took to take care of me and my family. So I came up with a plan to be as outrageous and insane and crazy as I possibly could because this has worked well for people such as Trisha Paytas and other YouTubers out there who throw for views and for money. People just love to see others act like crazy because it makes them feel better about themselves. End quote.
Following the trend of the time.
Yeah, it was a trend, a very bad trend, I should say. On the other hand, this is why hate watching became a thing on YouTube. Like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this person destroy her life because I will never do that. Mm. I'm not always into hate watching, especially when I just needed some relief from my everyday life, you know. But for some people, yeah, some say that the main reason reality TV became popular is because everyone enjoys a dumpster fire unfold before their eyes.
And I would say it's mostly because they just get bored of what they're watching, so they want something different. You know, you only can catch people's attention for a while, then it's like, okay, next.
Yeah, thank you. Next. So to continue here, and this is the part where she had to go ahead and just do it. And I quote, "The first YouNow live stream I did, I remember I think it was the one where I kind of just like slowly started merging into this horrible, outrageous persona. It was one where I was acting myself. But then I started like calling out the moderators on YouNow. I got kicked off several streams. I would do live streams in the bathtub. I was drinking. Just so you know, I drink occasionally. I'm not an alcoholic. I started talking back to haters, and I would call them names. I made up stories. Some of the things like I said and did, I would honestly cringe on the inside when I would do it. And I was just saying all kinds of crazy stuff just to get people's attention. It worked. People played into this drama. I actually became the number one viewed YouNower on YouNow. People would flock to my broadcasts. They would give me bars. I came up with a saying like, begging for bars. Those bars turned into cash, and this fueled it. This fueled me to keep going because I was like, oh my gosh, look at the money I made on that live stream. I made like $250. That could pay my light bill, my phone bill. I continued to do it because this money was turning into my bills being paid. End quote. Mm. Sometimes I know sometimes I'm a little notorious among my friends for telling them that if they're not motivated, they should start staring at their phone bills, staring at their utility bills because they can't afford to be lazy when they have bills to pay. And then we have this situation here where she just pushed herself on the deep end just because she needed the money. And sometimes I'm thankful that Christian is not on you now because
Mm,
I'm not
let's not
sure if the
let's not go there.
yeah, I'm sorry. I just ended up thinking that way, but people are acting crazy for the sake of views, for the sake of attention, for the sake of bars or gems on Twitch, if that's the case. And I, I, I haven't watched all of the You Now streams, so I'm not sure if she went as far as calling these people pay pigs. It's a derogatory term for people that like to send super chats or money or whatever in the currency that the streaming site is using. Can be hard. So going back to the transcript that we have, and I quote, I can't even go back and watch the live streams like all of these drama videos that people have made about me. I can't even look at the thumbnails. I can't even look at the videos. They make me sick. It was the biggest mistake I've ever made. Every single time I would live stream, I would make hundreds of dollars. There was one live stream that actually made me $500. I just kept going and going to where I even got suspended from you now. It ultimately was able to pay my bills 4 months after. I ended up making nearly $10,000 from that stunt. Knowing that I was making money from this, it fueled me. End quote.
God, what people will do just to get that, just to get that, just to make it, just to get that. When you're so desperate, you know, and you try to get something like that, and just to
Mm,
go that far, and the only thing you get out of it is 10 grand. I mean, 10 grand will
I,
only get you through a year, even
mm,
less than a year.
mm,
Can't even get you through the. Can't even get you through. It can't even get you through 5 years. And so it wasn't really worth it. But
mm,
when you're that desperate and you really don't want to quit because you'll be seen as a failure,
mm,
you got to keep in your mind. You got to keep going, even if it means tarnishing everything about yourself, which is not healthy. And it's a lot of times it's mostly because this is a system in America where the amount of money you have is the amount of social status that you have. And that's
mm.
not and that's not something that I endorse, and that's not something that I fight for. And it's something that a lot of people believe in, unfortunately.
Yeah,
They
and
don't
we just, yeah, go ahead.
they don't want to realize that okay, there are other avenues of where I can do something. Maybe something that I even enjoy doing. Okay, YouTube probably is not going to be the main source. It could still be a side. You make a little bit of side money that way. And for
Mm,
her, I mean, she's not benefiting from the supremacist and the patriarchy that is YouTube. I mean, she doesn't click all of the. I mean, she only clicks a few boxes, but not all of them. You can't be like a what is it? You can't be like a Jesse Ridgway who what is it? Just bought a $2 million house, and all from just doing like a series where his dad was destroying all his stuff. I mean, if she did that, it wouldn't get as many views because it's a
mm,
lot. It just it's just the way that YouTube functions around their algorithm. So my thing is, it's I mean she's done harm, and she's probably going to have to get some therapy for that, and she's definitely going to have to be looking at the people that she's definitely offended a lot of times and be like, oh God, what have I done? She's got to have to
mm.
that she's got to have that sit back in the chair moment and just think like, what happened during all this time when I was just trying to get cash?
Mm. All for cash. It's like it may not be long-term money, but it's something that pays the bill
Yeah,
for
people are
now.
desperate for it,
Mm-mm. Which is
and that's
why, yeah, go ahead.
which is I mean, people you have to understand like this is the way that the I mean currency is really the thing that gets people moving, and we're trying and there's people that are trying to build a system where there is no currency, where you don't even need to rely on that type of money to even do something like that. I mean, you're gonna have to find a better alternative, and so far nobody's really found a better alternative right now. But some people are even trying to go in that direction, and they're thinking that like, oh well, that will solve the problem, but not really. But it's it's just sad.
Yeah, it's one of those sad situations that no newbie on YouTube wanted to get into, especially if it has reached the point that it became more about the views and less about the income. Because, mm, just a side note here, I remember some people commenting about certain YouTubers that don't get as many views anymore, but they have no idea how much income they have on the side because maybe what they lack in views they made up for sponsorships, and some some people need to realize that eventually. So continuing here, yes, she still has some more to say because she eventually had to correct some of the statements that she made on those crazy streams. And to quote, I want to clear up some of the insane, stupid statements that I made during those live streams. I had said I hate children, and I do not hate children. I want children of my own one day. That has to be the number one statement that I said that I regret the most. It's not true. Definitely not true. I am wholeheartedly regretful for everything that I said and did. I did some disgusting things all in the name of money. I ended up losing my house anyway, so I don't have my house. I don't have the money that I put into my house anymore. I don't have anything. But I at least have my YouTube audience. And the fact that my YouTube audience has heard about this and has seen the live streams, it just makes me cringe so hard. I eventually started to realize what I was doing. I would say about a month after acting out and doing all these crazy things on YouNow, I was just thinking to myself, like, you're ruining yourself. You're ruining your reputation. Like, I was getting all kinds of comments. I just want to say how sorry I am for those YouNow live streams. I've thought of deleting the page, but it's not gonna stop them from duplicating even more. I just wish I could take it back because the money's gonna eventually be gone, and you're gonna be left with all the people who saw it. End quote. So it's basically an apology where she said sorry and explained what is she sorry for. So here, she learned a lot of lesson here. She even ended up saying, and I quote, I've definitely matured a lot since then as well, after all the stuff I've been through the past year or two. Money is not worth your integrity, your morals, or the person that you are. That is a lesson that I've learned the hard way. Those broadcasts, they scare me because I'm thinking like, what if I want to get out of this whole internet thing? What if I want to actually get a real career? What if my boss Googles me and sees this? I even hate posting this video to even let people know about it. End quote. I hate thinking that she had to come with this epiphany to realize that what if she wanted an actual career in the future and she's so worried that her boss Googles these, like, full disclosure. Not many people in the office know I have a YouTube, and thankfully I haven't done shit on YouTube that would cost me my job. Thankfully.
I mean, as long as they do the background check and they say like, "Oh, okay, well, I mean, we know this happened, but we're still willing to give you the job." I mean, if they do that, at least they understand like that. And I mean, if she's really willing to change, then that's you know that should be beneficial for her. But at the same time, um, you can't ignore exactly what happened in the past. Like
Mm,
that all has to be put on her life. That's he has to put in her life resume forever.
mm.
If she makes leaps and bounds, then that will definitely be an upgrade, and then people will just have to give it time. But um, I don't know. It's gonna be a very very long time. I mean, time heals all wounds, they say. But I mean,
Mm.
if she goes right back to it again, then okay. I think people just need to understand like this is who she's gonna be for the rest of her life. But if she's not, then okay, give it about 10 years.
I think 10 years should be a good time to see that because I find it odd about how some YouTube channels are discussing things that happened on Tumblr around 10 years ago and they're still relevant, maybe because they wanted some topics to put on their content. On the other hand, well, not many people believe that Breland has learned her lesson. Like I've said a while ago, um, Breland is not deleting as much anymore. Maybe, or maybe she's not that good at deleting comments because there's really a lot. there are a lot of supportive comments, which is good. Then there are a lot of comments that are would pay attention to the jump cuts in the video that she made. Like almost everyone's suspicious of jump cuts now because you know what? If those jump cuts don't exist, you'd end up with a lot of dead air in most of these videos. So I would give that a pass. And it's part of it's this video is obviously one of those videos that she made to do some penance, like yeah, because the perception of this video being fake is out there for her to take. It's like a long-term self-imposed penance for faking insanity for the sake of views. Maybe not as viewed as her reaction to the priming video as well. She even made a reaction video. It's like a reaction video to a reaction video to GlitterForever17. It's like this is what people think of me and I have to take it. So also also the most painful realization on that video is like the video about GlitterForever17 has 5.9 million views as of this writing, while the reaction video she made on that viral video, it only earned her about 282,000 views.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Primit made this video. It got 5.9 million views. And then the subject of the video herself tried reacting to it, and it didn't even hit a quarter of a million views. Or it did not even hit half a million views. So it's one of those realizations, perhaps, that, yeah, maybe I'm not as relevant anymore, and I need to see how else can I make this profitable for me. It's like YouTube is not always profitable, but people still do it for the sake of mm, ad revenue or number of views that can be earned. So she made her bed, now she has to lie on it. Her disclosure about the ads placed in the apology video just put the point across how broke she has gotten. Because people put ads on their apology video if they can get away with it, right? So she just wanted to live life after losing her dream home. And if YouTube no longer earns as much for her, what could be next for her? So around November 2020, that's when she plugged her OnlyFans account. She plugged her OnlyFans account using the title I squirt glitter out of my clitter.
Whoa.
Uploaded, uploaded on YouTube by GlitterForever17 last November 21, 2020. So it earned more than 3,000 likes and more than 5,400 dislikes. Yeah, they must have felt so disappointed that you said you're going to squirt glitter out of your clitter. Where's the video? Oh, and then they realized that they had to go to the OnlyFans account in order to see that. Mm. She has totally sexualized herself. On the other hand, it's OnlyFans. So,
I mean, that's what it's there for. I mean,
mm-mm.
you have a lot of sex workers that go on there because they can't necessarily during COVID can't go outside to do their work, or they can't go to I mean, I guess adult studios like they allow shoots to still go on, but it's really tough still. I mean, most of
Mm-mm.
the top sex workers in the adult industry are like just webcamming everything now, until it
Well,
dies down.
yeah, because a lot of them do OnlyFans because they have this "my body, my rules" mantra. Like a lot, you mentioned on, I think you mentioned on the Fire Festival podcast how a lot of these porn stars are not paid well,
Yeah, no, they're not.
and they're not paid well. So OnlyFans become an option for them, at least they control what comes out and they get to dictate on the price. They get to, at least they don't have an intermediary anymore. Although OnlyFans comes across like an intermediary, of course. And if they have, if they can control what comes out, if they have the final say on how much can be charged based on what they show, then maybe OnlyFans can work for them. And of course, other people on YouTube like GlitterForever17 saw that this is where this is where maybe she can resume her bathtub videos. No mention of that, but if if earning income online is still her option using videos, then yeah, of course OnlyFans would be included among her options. The YouTube channel is still there for everyone to see. She would do random stuff there. She even had another YouTube channel simply called Breland because that's her name anyway, Breland. And she she's not into the DIY anymore based on her latest uploads, which is fine because eventually she realized that there's so many DIY channels anymore. There's so many DIY channels as of late that even if she's one of those people that popularized it, if she failed to evolve according to the times, if she failed to create videos based on demand on what is helpful, maybe the helpful videos don't always go viral, but I consider them evergreen content. I consider them the kind of videos that people still watch if ever they need help in their daily lives. So we may not see her going back to that genre soon, but I just hope that things would finally work out for her, you know. And which is why I ended up discussing this because I still feel bad for her. I don't judge her for doing a Trisha Paytas. Her words, not mine. I I just end up thinking that if you really don't have a backup plan, you don't have another source of income, you end up doing these things on YouTube. And of course, in Breland's case, it cost her her dream home.
And if she has a mental problem or if she has like an issue, it would always be good to go get diagnosed or tested for something.
Mm,
That way, you could get yourself on disability. So that way you can at least get a source of income that way.
mm.
And if you ever wanted to get a part-time job to go along with that that seems fun for you, then right away then you could be pretty good with yourself. If I mean, I remember you were saying like she was also providing for her family as well. She was like the source of income for like her parents and everything. So I
Yes,
mean, when you have that added pressure on you, I mean, you can't. And that was kind of like I have to be there for everybody, and that also played into it as well. It's like, oh, what's my family gonna do when I realize I can't give them the money anymore?
because it sounds like she's the breadwinner. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how many members of the family does she have? Don't they have their own jobs as well?
Well,
Not that I'm blaming them, but yeah, you know, it's not enough that someone has as the breadwinner, but you also need everyone else to chip in to help.
yeah, and it seems to be once she became big, she decided, or when the money started pouring in, it's like, okay, we're gonna ride this gravy train, and this gravy train is gonna last forever because YouTube's not going anywhere. But
Mm,
people don't understand. It's YouTube changes almost every month. Their algorithm changes all the time. Um, And it's mostly not the content that you're doing. It's just mostly they're just trying to try and I mean they're a company just like anything else. They're trying to find any sort of avenue or channel that makes people want to come more to their channel, and she wasn't providing that for them. So they went to other people, or they went to all these big people that already have like a following on television or in movies. They're getting all the views. So you have to be bigger than them, and that's not easy to do. I mean,
Mm.
PewDiePie did it because he lived in three different countries. People think he's hot, um, and he revolutionized Let's Plays and did all this stuff for streaming. So it was like a time where it was all the things hidden at the right moment, and then feels like he's invincible because no one's been able to touch him, and except for that one children's show that did YouTube. And then that's when things I was like, I should be number one again. It was like, nope, your time is coming, and plus all your racist stuff didn't help. So even then, when you get to that level of big, that's when you feel like you're untouchable. And she never got to that level of untouchability. And it's hard for people and it's even hard for women in general to reach that level. They're always gonna go. They're always gonna go for a guy to get to that level. It's usually mostly gonna be a white guy, like I was saying before, because the algorithm goes to them. Um, that's that. It's more or less like YouTube is a very conservative type of company, and their videos are very catered to conservative ideals or the way that things get populated. The only time that you can really get into the upper echelon is if you do something that a lot of people enjoy doing. Like I know there's a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh channels where they just play cards, but that's how they're able to get away with it. It's not because of who they are. It's just because, oh, hey, you guys are playing the game that I just happen to like. So she was doing things that people were attracted to seeing, and it's like what we were talking about before with television, like
Mm.
this idea for reality shows. It's like, okay, this reality show is boring now, and I got to go to the next one that makes it exciting again. It's always like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? And that's capitalism 101. I'll just say that.
Yeah. When there's too much competition going on, then you realize that this other channel is providing this better content, better allegedly content. Although it's more like, yeah, another channel comes along, provides interesting content, and then you try to outdo that. It's like you're no longer trying to outdo yourself. You're trying to outdo someone else, or at least try to copy them. Because I don't expect Breland to outdo Trisha Paytas. Only Trisha Paytas can outdo Trisha Paytas. And
Mm-hmm.
you try to adapt to that level of um, content. It's like, yeah, you're not only throwing caution to the wind, you're throwing your reputation to the wind. Like, what happened to that other fan of Trisha Paytas? Oh yeah, Nicocado Avocado. He's a mess, and he continues to be a mess. He enjoys being a mess because it brings him the views that sometimes the I can't help but mention that. I know what our topic is GlitterForever17, but sometimes YouTube only acts whenever certain serious issues hit the mainstream. So in this case, the closest that Glitter Forever 17 got was going on a cover of 17 magazine. And that's just about it. She never hit the mainstream again. Maybe she ended up getting discussed by various drama channels. Not many of them took kindly on this decision. I can't blame them. But if you're going to put yourself out there and be as crazy as you could get, like either you're asking for help or you're begging for attention. That's how I would put it there. Because well, personally, I swore to myself I will never cry on YouTube. On my old channel, on my now deleted channel, I once cried because that other YouTuber is not giving me attention. Of course, it hurt. Like, I'm getting the views, but that one guy is not paying you attention can be painful. And I ended up asking myself, is this about my ego or just about because I'm not getting attention from that particular guy? So right now it's obviously about the views, and maybe I will be censoring myself eventually once I get monetized, I suppose. And then sometimes you just wanted the views, you wanted the attention, and then you're doing everything you can that sometimes it's not worth it. I mean, Forever herself mentioned that she eventually lost the house, and it struck a nerve in me. Like, I don't want to work hard all of these years, and then one day, because I ran out of options, I would lose everything. So hopefully this would serve as a lesson for everyone, because Untold Legends always discuss things that affected a lot of people. This might be the part on the season that would end up discussing mental health, because you wanted to make money, but you're not sure if your sanity can take it. If you can take it, then go. If not, be ready to surround yourself with people who support you. So, before I close this episode, any other final thoughts that you have, Joe?
Just one phrase: don't work hard, work smart.
Okay, I'd take note of that, Joe. Thank you very much for that info. I agree with that sentiment. You don't have to work hard, work smart, and also on YouTube, as long as you're coming from a place of help, then you would eventually get the views that you would have here on YouTube. Maybe not always that fast, but as long as you get to discuss the topics that matter, you get to help people on some of the issues that they're handling on a day-to-day basis, then yeah, you will eventually get the views. So thank you very much, Joe, for accompanying me on this interesting episode. Yes, we make sure that a lot of the episodes that we handle here on Untold Legends would be interesting. And I am checking on the list here, and this one for next episode, season 2, episode 9 of Untold Legends, we would be discussing the YouTube channel named Glam and Gore.
Oh boy, that sounds like a Halloween thing.
Yeah,
Oh
it
boy.
it's like a crossover between a makeup channel and well, it says Glam and Gore, so yeah, you can imagine the other half of the content there. And we would be discussing some of the issues that surrounded the people that uh, were or were connected to that channel. Okay, so
All
thank you
right.
very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Joe, for staying here, for accompanying us in this interesting discussion all over again. Thank you very much to everyone that came over to listen to us and watch, and would be looking forward to seeing you on season 2, episode 9 of Untold Legends. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.